U.S. Department of Energy approached the Voinovich School as they were decommissioning the port's facility and taking it offline from its old purpose of uranium enrichment and turning that facility over for reuse. They knew that they needed a partner in the region who knew the region and who could provide community outreach to hear what the community thought that the reuse of the facility should be. I was involved in the helping design and implement the initial community outreach portion of the Port's Future project. You can do community outreach with adults pretty easily, but it's very difficult to get students, K-12 students, engaged in these kinds of things. It's a project that has a lot of potential for communication to the public as well as inspiring students to go on into a certain career that they may not have otherwise even knew existed.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, I guess you should just break into groups, but first let me give these back to you. So, non-rad folks, sorry, no offense with the name.
So each year, as they're decontaminating and decommissioning the plant, they collect tremendous amount of data on the environmental monitoring that's going on at the plant. And that's all compiled into what's called an annual site environmental report. The report being highly technical and complex, the U.S. Department of Energy has funded this project to work with a local high school on taking the contents of that annual site environmental report and summarizing it to make it more publicly accessible.
More understandable for the public. We mailed out like 300 of these last year.
So there's two main goals of this project. One is to involve local young people, high school students, in learning about what's going on at the plant. What does the cleanup involve, and what potential future opportunities might exist for them at the plant. And then the second goal is to produce a summary report of the contents of that full ACER report in order to provide that information to the public in a more accessible way.
I think the students writing this professional document allows them to see how the group process to put together such a big project like this, how they can cooperate and work together.
Okay, does that work? Yep. Awesome. We went to Lake Hope and we got to do environmental groundwater monitoring, and they showed us the fishes and the different bugs, and we got to see the pH levels of the creek, and that was really exciting and a different experience for us.
Another thing that I do is to arrange speakers or subject matter experts to come in and meet with the students and to help explain what the contents of the report are. And they've talked about things that, like the radiological monitoring results or the groundwater results, and it really helps the students understand more fully the contents of the report and the cleanup that's going on.
They have an appreciation for the environment in general and their role in the environment. I'm looking forward, if it ever does, in 10 years from now, come back around. I definitely recommend to the principal here that we would jump at the chance to do it again. I think it's been a great experience.
We've also had the nice little side outcome of the two different high schools have both offered environmental science for the first time. We wanted to kind of recognize the public service that they're doing in summarizing this report for the public.
Our approach was to...
And so at the end of the year in May, we had a student recognition event, and some of the students representing their team came up and spoke and talked about what the project was like for them and the value of the project, as well as what they may have learned.
But anyway, what you guys have done in putting this stuff into terms everybody can understand is, it's a really valuable thing. The other thing I'll say is you guys have taken on a lot of responsibility too, because now you are experts in the site. And so when people come and ask...
Now that it's offline, maybe our young people know less about the plant. It's also scaled down on the number of people employed there. So just really thinking and getting students engaged in knowing that this was a part of our history in the region and an important component of our economy, and perhaps, hopefully, will continue to be an important component of our economy as it is turned over and reused and repurposed.
Thank you again for coming. I really appreciate it.